evening and welcome to Gap Perspectives. I am so happy this evening to introduce our guest, Haley and I. Hi, Haley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. We have a great guest this evening, and I am so happy to have this guest. He is a man who has served as a policeman in our town. He is now a part-time instructor at the police academy. He is a podcast host, an actor, the father, a devoted husband, and it is my honor to introduce to you Councilman at Large for the city of Bayonne, Lloyd Booker. And also he is my friend.
Well, thank you for that introduction. Listen, by all means, I guess we're done now. I don't need to say anything else after that
Well, we'd like
introduction.
to give yourself a little background on your career, if you would, or whatever you'd like to say. We have some questions also.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate that. It's a laundry list of things that I do, and that only comes with time and life experience and going down different avenues of life. There's one common theme. I don't want to be long-winded, but the one common theme is serving people. And that's what I do, just being a person for others, no matter what you're doing. And if you follow my trail, that's pretty much what I do. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Well, I did see that with you because as we are walking around sometimes with you, I see how you are so loved by neighbors, by the school kids, because you worked outside the school for a while. They all seem to know you and they all seem to respect you, which is very important.
Well, I do.
Today, being a police officer is not easy, although that's not what you're doing at the moment, but it's not easy. And how long were you a police officer?
I just finished. Time flies by. I did 25 years of service to the great city of Bayonne, the Bayonne Police Department, and I'd say that very seriously and with conviction. It is one of, if not the best police departments in the state of New Jersey. I know most people just say that as some kind of fluff, but I do mean that. A lot of fine men and women that I've worked with over the couple of decades. But yeah, I enjoyed it and it was a good deal. So listen, my one thing is, as a police officer working at the academy right now, we have a lot of new training, de-escalation, empathy and all that. I was practicing all that stuff way before it became fashionable. My thing as an officer, you never know what somebody's going through. And that's family, friends, or whatever. No matter what the situation is, I said, well, if they're having a good day or a bad day, what are they going through? What happened? And I use that in school with the students. I did that on the street with the general population and residents. I never took that out of perspective in terms of empathy for people. And that's what I did.
Very important. That's why you.
Well,
what initially drew you to a career in law enforcement?
Ironically, I'll give it a short version. When I graduated high school, I went away to college, coming from a large family. I was running out of money. Now, I've had quite a few people in my family in the military. I thought that was a good option, and they were giving away money for college. I was like, I could finish paying for my school. So I joined the military, and I joined the Army Reserve. And as I did that, life takes its course. All of a sudden, I went regular Army. After my 4 years with them, it was transcended into law enforcement. So that's what I did. I took the test. I did okay. And there I am. I will be honest with you, and I just told somebody a couple of weeks ago that it wasn't my first thing. I think life experience helped me to be the officer that I was, but I didn't plan on being a police officer. So some guys are like, oh, I want to be a cop. I want to be. That wasn't my first passion. But
that's exactly what I say to Haley. You don't always know what you want as a young person. Sometimes things just happen. They give you a laugh. There you are. You're a police officer. Like you said, oh my God, I want to be a police officer. You didn't say that, but it happened and you ended up loving it.
Exactly. And I believe in a higher power. God puts you where he wants you to be. That's my thing. But as a young person, I had no design. I mean, there were guys I've worked with for 20 plus years and all they wanted to do was be police officers. And that was their why. It was not for me. But what got me through my career and helped me to excel was just being a people person, being empathetic and respecting people. And as I did, I was helping people. I've seen people on their good days, bad days, and worst days. That's how that works.
Do you think that the police officers that you said were, yeah, their whole life wanting to be police officers had a different mindset than you, or it doesn't matter?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't want to put anybody in the spot. I'm not with the department anymore. It definitely is a different mindset to a degree. My mentality was it was never an us versus them kind of thing. Different mindset is a safe way to say it.
That's a good.
We had two different. It was like gun ho, like I want to be. I want to cop on. It's not a matter of locking people up or whatever. It's a little different. It's community service. When I was in the police academy, the troopers always said that everybody's going to find their niche. That's true. Because when I went in, I wasn't in homicide. I wasn't in detective bureau. I was in community oriented policing, which was right up my alley. Talking to people, helping people, getting to know people, kids in the neighborhood.
Thank you for your service.
No, thank you.
What advice would you give someone considering a career in law enforcement today?
That's a good question. If it's something you really want to do, my advice to you, number one, we just had a graduating class from the academy. And I told everyone, just be your own person. Don't be a follower, be a leader. Use empathy with the community and the people that you serve. It's truth to be told, to protect and serve. Number one, you're protecting people. And number two, you're serving your community well. There's a responsibility that you have wearing that uniform to your community. And I think I held that very seriously. I didn't take it for granted. Most people didn't even know that. They see me out on the street, they didn't realize I was a cop. But just a normal person. Just happen to be a cop. So yeah, just be your own person. Don't be a follower, be a leader. And no matter what. That's one of my advices.
And how has your experience as a police officer influenced your life after retirement or leaving the force?
That's an interesting question. After being a police officer and even the military is a little different experience, but after, that's my dog. I'm sorry if you hear him in the background. It definitely, it goes along with what I said my entire life, respect for people. And I've seen things that I've never thought I would see in my life, good and bad. What it's done for me is I realize I just have a lot of empathy for people, not being a doormat, but just understanding people. We all have something in our lives and you don't have to know about it. It's not my business to know about it unless I'm a police officer and you call me. Empathy is a real big thing right now for me. It's changed my life in respect for people. Everybody has his opinion. I worked with guys who had a difference of opinion than me. And I'm like, it's all good. Respect. Respect is big. I've said it to students. I've said it to adults. Respect will save your life. I believe that in my heart of heart. And it's been proven time and time again. Not always. Sometimes there's no cookie cutter in terms of law enforcement. Sometimes you do have to turn the dial up a little bit. I'm not walking around saying, I come by that. Sometimes you have to turn the dial up for the situation at hand. But still always treat people with respect. That's my thing.
When you give respect, you get respect.
Most of the time, because there are some people that will not. You'll give all you can and they won't give it back. That's where you have to walk away from it and like, okay, that's their life. Most people don't think about it. But as an officer, you have the ability to take somebody's freedom away. That's some pretty serious power to lock somebody up and put them behind bars for whatever the situation is. You have to treat that with a little respect.
How did you cope with that? Who knew that someone that you were arresting and you knew that they were going to maybe get a high sentence? How does that affect you as a police officer, knowing you have someone's life in your hands?
Right. Well, it's a good question. I'll share a short story with you. I had a friend that we grew up with. We played football together and childhood friends. Long story short is I had to arrest him. He was one of my first arrests and he was my BFF. He was a friend of mine. So it does affect you. It does affect you. What happens is even some tragic things that have happened in town, the best advice I can tell somebody is please talk to somebody. You always should talk to somebody, because especially men have this, macho, I'm good. It's okay to not be okay. If something bothers you, please talk to somebody about it. You can fake being okay.
Yes,
you really can.
And that's people that sometimes end up committing suicide. And as you know, Haley and I do, June, Men's Mental Health Month.
I'm aware of that.
So I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah.
That they should speak up. Also, I want to bring up and say thank you to you, because I know you don't like to get kudos about the fire that you saw. Tell us a little bit about that story.
I actually was driving up Avenue C and I seen smoke billowing out of the building on 20th and Avenue C. And I was like, whoa, where's the fire department? That's not some cooking, that's a fire. So I dropped my car on 19th and Avenue C and I ran over. There's a daycare center at the bottom. And this place was getting engulfed with smoke. I did what I would do normally if I was on the job. Just ran in and started shuffling the kids out of the building. One of the officers ran into the building and it was black with smoke. And then I started using a couple expletives and tell them to get the hell out of that building. Because, you could lose your life just by the smoke. It doesn't have to be the fire. I helped bring some kids out. And it was funny. I had one little baby. I was running across the street to put in the bank. And it was a cute moment. The baby doesn't know me and just look at me with these big eyes like, what are you doing to me, mister? And was bringing them to the bank to safety. So it was fun.
I'm glad that you were going by. God must have put you in that spot.
Well, I'd like to think so. I know. And again, people like, I don't know. I think anybody would, I would hope anybody would do it.
Yes, I think so too. But you never know. Some people, they're at the red light and they're texting and not even looking in other direction.
That's correct. That is correct.
Another gap perspective that we have. A lot of times I'm at a red light and they never go. I'm like, darn it, you're texting. That's why.
Yeah, I saw a young lady driving and I was behind her. I don't get too excited, but she was on her phone. And looking down, she's on her phone and I'm like, beep, beep, let's go.
And you hate to keep beeping your horn like that.
I know.
I do that. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Right?
I consider myself a courteous driver. I let people go. I just be cautious.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are you doing now, and how does it compare to your previous career?
Right now, as Janet mentioned, I am a city council person, council at large, which is pretty cool because I don't have just one specific ward. I get the luxury of having the whole entire town. I can go into anybody's ward or they can call me and I respectfully pass it on to that ward person, council person, and see if we can collectively put something together. If not, I'd handle it on my own. The comparison, again, serving the community. So I get to make decisions benefiting the town. Not everybody has to agree with it. One of my snippets is, you're not going to make everybody happy. And so don't try. I said it the other day to the cadets, the people that just graduated, recruits. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes better.
Right.
So I don't try to be perfect, but the comparison is pretty much the same. However, I don't walk around with a gun all the time. And the community,
the way you're a
public servant, exactly. And that's what I'm at. That's what I'm looking to do.
What do you think your biggest accomplishment was as a council person?
Or that's a good question. There's several moments that you do things and you're happy about it. Some things, even my colleagues, I don't agree with. I don't want my colleagues to think that I'm closed-minded on anything because I'm not. One of the biggest issues right now is affordable housing and development. You can say all the political speaking points, but what are you going to do about it? I take one step at a time. I'm glad about some of the votes that I've made. So just serving the community, I think, is big. That's one of the reasons that drew me to it. I get to stay in touch and help the community, which is important.
And to make a difference. I think you make a difference.
I really do. And I mean, I'd like to think I do. I just like serving.
You never say no to anybody's call either. You're very friendly.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I know you and you're a friend.
Right.
Because I can tell you whether you're my friend or not.
I appreciate
very
it.
personable and people like you and feel comfortable with you. It's all about respect and they respect you.
They might not like me until I have my 2 cups of coffee in the morning, but no, wait. I do need my coffee in the morning. I'm a 2-cup guy. It's ironic. That's what I say on my other podcast, which I haven't done in a while because my schedule's been busy. So don't mind that phone.
Yeah, what the name of your podcast is?
Yeah, absolutely. The name of my podcast was The Heartfelt Truth, LBJ, The Heartfelt Truth. I've had probably over 200 and some odd shows that I've done. I started on a cell phone and then I built up my little studio I have here right now. When I started, it was all about motivation. I started with motivation, and I'll be honest, I don't preach religion and I don't preach politics. I just want to be a motivational kind of people person where you can express yourself. I wound up in politics. I didn't even let people know I was a police officer, but some of my colleagues found out about it, and they used to tease me a little bit, but they actually liked it. Also, I did a TEDx talk bridging the gap between law enforcement and community. That was out. It's still out there on YouTube. I'm not self-promoting. I just want people, if they're interested. To
No, I
check it
want
out.
you to self-promote. People
Yeah.
should.
Yeah, well, if they want to see it, it's interesting because it definitely touches base on, as a police officer. And part of my book, which I'm still working on, is coming into Bayonne as a police officer. Bayonne has a lot of stigmas and history. I was one of the few African-American officers that came on. When I came on, there were only 3 other officers, and I made number 4 in 1996. People are like, whoa. And now, breaking some barriers again, I am the first African-American city council person in the history of the town. And I say that not to brag, but I think it's time for change, and we can move forward together as a community and not look at someone because of what they look like, but the attributes and what they're bringing to the table and helping
agree.
people. So,
I agree.
and that's where I'm.
When I was a little girl, now we're interviewing you, but I'm going to tell you a little story that I had.
Sure, go right
I
ahead.
was a girl, which was in the 60s, early
Mhm.
60s,
Sure.
on Yale Avenue. I don't know if you're
Mhm.
familiar with Yale Avenue. It's between West Side and Mallory.
Okay.
And the block was black and white.
Oh, yes.
Everyone got along. My best
yeah.
friend was a
Yeah.
black girl. She used to do my hair, except she burnt it with that iron on the stove.
Oh, I found the old. I thought I heard
Yeah,
that.
remember the iron? They put
I
it over
do
the
remember.
fire.
Yeah,
And
my
I
sister.
was
My sister did it. Yes.
like,
yes.
oh my God, I don't have the same hair. It's burning. I was
Oh
only
my-
about 7.
Oh,
We
gee.
had so much fun. I loved
Yeah.
everybody loved each other.
Right.
This I just never got it because I
Well,
didn't know.
in my neighborhood, as much as people don't say, I grew up in modest means. I was in public housing, and there was a lot of different people in those buildings, and we were all family. I didn't even think twice about anything. As far as being a police officer, if you get a chance, look at the TEDx talk. There's one segment that I share with the people about being a police officer and, a person of color in a job. And that's not a big thing. I don't make that's not my whole conversation, but it's a reality. There we go.
It is a reality for sure. Gail?
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, if I can give my younger self one piece of advice, that's a very interesting question because there's a few things. Number one, I'd have to think about that. I would definitely make some different choices in terms of really going after what I wanted to do. I have to be completely honest. When I was younger, I wanted to be an actor, and I still do that to this day. I personally don't think I would change who I am. I would just say, be yourself. Like I said before, don't be a follower. I was never a follower. I had friends who were up here, down here. They did this, they did that. I'm not saying I'm a saint because I'm not, but I just followed my own mind. And there's things that I just decided not to do for me and panned out. So we have ups and downs.
If you want to talk about the gap between, you're not a baby boomer, are you?
I am, yes.
Are you a
I'm
baby boomer?
Now you make me feel like an old man in front of Haley. I am.
I wanted to talk about us growing up. When
Yes.
I was about 15 with the police officers. I lived on West Side Avenue in Jersey City. And if you remember, back then, Haley, the kids would hang out on the corners.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
Bayonne? I don't know if they did then, Bayonne.
No, Bayonne.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Kids
Yes.
hung out. Yes.
They would hang out in the corners and sing. The boys would sing.
Yeah, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
when the cops used to walk around on the beat.
Nightstick.
So one time we lived on West Side. I was sitting outside with my friend. Police officer comes by. He says to me, get upstairs. I'm like, no. He goes, you better go home. I said, I live upstairs. He goes, then go upstairs. As I go to my mother, he made us go upstairs. She goes, good, then stay in the house. Today, a lot of times the parent would be, I'm going to tell everybody this. I think that's a gap, right?
There's a gap. I could go on and on because I'm a talker, but you're absolutely right. It's just a different time. And yeah, ironically today, I was talking to a gentleman about, there was another has since passed away, but we remember each other when we were younger, and we mentioned this cop's name. We started laughing because he was the guy. He would take the nightstick and he'll tap you in the back of the leg and get out of here, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just different time.
It's a different time. And I think then the police knew the neighborhood too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
when
one of the
people-
things I enjoyed about being in cops COP because when I was campaigning on my first run, I enjoyed walking more than driving because you got to know the community. You got to sit down and do a one-on-one, stop in the local grocery store, stop in a candy store, or walking on Broadway. And people actually appreciated that. So I followed through with it and it worked out really well. So that was one of my fortes. And I got to know everybody. When I went to the high school, I just knew all the kids. It was pretty cool.
Do you
Pretty
think
cool.
that we'll ever see that again? Police officers on the beat?
Well, there's some, they're out now. I mean, there's some walking around. There's not as many as we had, but I think it'll come back. There's a need for it. And there's still that whole component of community-oriented policing. So, yes, it's just a different dynamic. But yeah, it'll definitely return.
My last question for you would be, when have you felt most out of your comfort zone and how did you push through?
Ooh, okay, here we go. I'm going to stop saying good question. You know, I'm thinking about it. Out of my most comfort zone, believe it or not, I remember, well, there's always a few little moments in life, but I think when I was in the military, I was out of my comfort zone simply because I wound up in the Middle East for a year. And I didn't even have a buddy system because I joined the military. Again, I told you, to get some money for college. I was alone. I didn't have any buddies or friends that went in the military with me. Some guys would couple up, at least have somebody they know to go with. But being in the Middle East for a year by myself and being out of town, because I didn't travel much, you know, we didn't go a lot of exotic vacations with my family. I'll be very honest with you. I pray every day. My inner strength comes from praying and pushing through, because as long as you're breathing, you're going to have things to deal with in life. You can't escape it. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be neutral days. And that's where I'm at. So I just pray and think things will get better every day. I mean, most of the times they do, you know? So that's
good to have a positive outlook. I really pray all the time myself.
very few people, when I share that, I'll let them know. But it's not like I walk around and say, hey, what'd you do this morning? Nothing. I made my bed. I did this. I did that, whatever. But I don't go and say, no, I prayed this morning.
There's no reason
to that. So,
can I ask you a question now?
yes, you can.
What are your future plans?
Well, listen, my future plans, I'll be very, very brief. Number one, I would love to finish the 2 projects that I have. They are actually done, and I just want to update them because my life has taken a couple turns. My future plans, I will tell you this and be very honest with you. I plan on serving the community continuously. Nothing is forever. And I plan on still being a person that serves the community to the best of my capacity. We'll leave that up to the higher power and see where it goes.
Well, we're happy to have
Thank you very much.
a
Well,
great job.
well, thank you very much. That means a lot. I take it with a grain of salt, but I also take it to heart. At the end of the day, as a community, right? I mean, I say this with conviction. Bayonne, when I say I love Bayonne, I do. We're like family. There's people that you've known from kindergarten to college. We've been in some people's weddings, things like that. So it's family. But here's the deal. Family fights too. You know what I mean? You get your ups and downs. Me and my older sister, we go at it sometimes because we don't always agree. But at the end of it all, the bottom common denominator is that we're family. And that's what I believe in Bayonne.
Yes.
Thank you.
Support us and vote for us on that council.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really do.
Haley?
Exactly. I did all my judgment, but thank you so much for coming on.
No. Listen, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I made it one of my priorities. I'm like, I got to get there. I got to do this. So yeah, I made it a priority. But no, thank you very much. Absolutely. And I hope I did a decent job for you guys.
You did a great job. It's an honor to have you. We
All right,
really
well, thank you guys too.
If
Seriously.
you ever need anything, you let us know.
I most definitely will. Perhaps you come back and have me on and maybe I'll have some more changes in my life.
Have you on.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.